Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is a review for Tales on BT. I don't know why I took that long to say that. I'm a little sick, as y'all can maybe hear. So yeah. But Tales on BT. This is season 1, episode 5, titled A Children's Story. This was a good episode. I liked how it kind of played out. I liked the actors. I knew the song, so I kind of had an idea of what it would be about, but it was still good to see the story written out into, movie or episode form. So, I think that's a great thing. A children's story starts off with, we see this girl named Ty. She lives at home with her grandmother. Her grandmother's sick, and bills are just piling up. And, it's hard when grandma's older and grandma's sick and she ain't working. And, y'all got to make this money. Y'all got to make ends meet. And things ain't working out. So, Ty, then you go out. She hanging with her friend, Deacon. So, her and Deacon going, and they, is walking through the streets and everything. And they see, a crime scene. And it's like, dang, what happened? So, they don't really show what happened or whatever. But you just know it's a dangerous thing. And it looks like someone is dead. Well, because the body's being taken into the morgue, the coroner's truck or whatever. So from there, we hear her friends saying, hey, I keep hearing about people, rob, we can do that, we can make some money. Because, of course, I guess they both broke. So that's the first part of what we see. And then from there, we see Nade in the alley with some white man buying guns. I'm like, look, it is never, this is new lipstick, so I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, it's never a good idea to buy guns from a random white man in the alley. Matter of fact, it ain't never wise to buy guns from any random person, black, white, or indifferent, in an alley. Okay? But this white man, to me, just didn't, I was like, I wouldn't trust that white man. I wouldn't. And I just don't think buying guns in the alley from any race of people is a smart thing to do. But, at first, you're like, well, I don't know if we should do this. Are we really going to do this? And he like, look, it's going to be easy. We're going to rob a couple old people, and run off. Robbing old people and making a dash is what they basically doing, from the story, children's story. So he like, we need this. Okay, we got to do this, Ty. We ain't got no choice. So they end up buying the guns. So, they back at her house, and he all the mirror like, prick yourself, fool. He said something else, but it was the equivalent of that. Just in the mirror, talking to himself, trying to amp himself up about how he's going to rob people. And I'm like, if you have to amp yourself up about robbing somebody, if you have to, see how your robbing face is going to go, I don't think you should be robbing people. That's just my point. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I literally paused this because my thing popped up saying that Beyonce had posted something on Instagram, and I wanted to see what it was. Just I'm a Beyonce fan, whatever. Don't judge me. So yeah, he in the mirror mocking, how you gonna rob people or whatever, and she like, look, speaking of all that, what's the plan? And he's like, oh, it's easy, people be at the ATM machines, older people, we're gonna just walk up and rob them. It's basically that simple. And I'm like, y'all gonna really be robbing old people? But okay, it is what it is. But the plan is to rob people coming from the ATM machine. Because if you go to the ATM machine, you get money. So that's, people are like, okay, I know they got some money because they just came from the ATM machine. So that's their plan. So, grandma come in, she like, boy, Deacon, what you doing here? We need to miss you sometime, so go ahead and get on out of here. So, Deacon go ahead and leave, and then they had dinner. And then grandma was like, I talked to your auntie, and she said, if we lose the house, because they're getting all those past due bills, that she has room for me to come there. And I thought, well, damn, auntie ain't say nothing about Ty. But, she like, well, she got so many people there, how she gonna take care of you? And she like, well, don't worry about me. Where you gonna go? You've been out of school for a year. You haven't really done anything. You're like, what you gonna do? You need to figure out a way to take care of yourself. And, Ty then lie, like, it's okay. You ain't gotta go over there because I got a job. Grandma like, when you get a job, girl? I got a job today, and if I do real good on it, I can make a lot of money. Meaning, I just bought a gun, and if I rob enough people, I can make some money. And grandma was like, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you do, then that's what you do. So then on the first attempt of them going to rob somebody, She put her little Robin outfit on, and all black or whatnot, and then they go stick out this ATM. Now, you know, I don't know where this city was they were at, but to me, it seemed like the ATM machine was like outside a crack house. I don't know. I ain't even trying to be judgmental, but I'm like, that's a weird place for an ATM machine to be at. It was just, I mean, it just looked like it was, I don't know. So to me, it was funny for where the ATM was. They were, well, the first ATM machine where they were at. And there was so many people. And she was like, I thought you said it was going to be like, you know, not a lot of people out here. Like, it's a whole bunch of people out here. And they were just like walking around, like just everywhere. Hence why I said, was it the crack? So he like, no, you know, see, look at that guy right there. He going to the ATM machine. And she's like, yeah, but he ain't old. You know, he look young. He look like he can still fight. You know, we can't rob him. And plus, it's all these people. And he was like, no, we're going to wait for him to walk away. We're going to follow him around the corner. And then we're going to rob him there. And that's the whole plan. So, you know, the guy walk away, whatever. He walking, they following him. And when he walk up to, like, his building or to a building, you know, they come up like, you know, give me your money. Give me what you got. And he like, you gonna rob me? Talking to the guy, talking to Deacon. And he like, give me your money. Now he all nervous. His hands shaking. He ain't even calm. He ain't cool. He ain't collected and nothing. He like, you know, give me your money. Ty is quiet. And he like, man, I can see you don't really want to do this. I can look in your eyes. I've seen killers. You're not a killer. You don't want to do this. And then, like, he not even intimidated that these two people got a gun pointed towards him. And he talking like, y'all want to do this, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then Ty, just out the blue, boop, she pistol whip him. So she, you know, hitting him with the butt of the gun, and she's basically pistol whipping him. And while Deacon was all nervous, she got all hype. Give me your money. Take your watch off. Give me your money. He like, you a female? I ain't no bitch, I'm your mama. I'm looking like, well, if you not, it's... Anywho, and then they get the money and run off. So they all hype, yeah. How much we get? So Ty has some money. Deacon ass so goofy. He's so happy. He shoot the gun off by mistake. I'm looking like, sit your goofy ass down somewhere, okay, Deacon? So, you know, she happy because they made this, you know, couple $100. So then we see a montage of them just robbing people. Robbing him, her, and everybody. Old, young, male, female. You know, robbing people, beating people up out here, you know what I'm saying, doing things. And you see that she is down, they're going on shopping spree, they buying stuff, they got new shoes, they robbed one dude for some golden shoes, the Deacon that had on the golden shoes. I could not rob somebody for their shoes and put my feet, I'm very funny about what I put my feet into. I don't even like I don't like going bowling because I don't want to put my feet in somebody else's shoes, okay? I mean, and he robbed a stranger and then wore the shoes. What if that man got some kind of foot fungus and now you got it? So disgusting. Anywho, but yeah, they was buying new clothes and buying new shoes, and you know she kept putting the money in the box and her gun in the box. So she kept putting more money in this box, and then she paying this bill and that bill. So she's paying all these bills. She paying bills by robbing all these different people. But then you see she's putting less and less money in the box. But she's paying all the bills coming in. You know, grandma happy and everything, but you know, it's less and less money going into this box. And then one day she come home, her grandma had put a past due bill on her bed. And she opened up her box. Ain't no more money in her box. She done spent all her money. Like, all the robbing money is gone. I'm guessing the robbing has slowed up because ain't no money in that daggone box. And, you know, she's talking to grandma, and grandma like, okay, I'm so happy. I talked to your auntie. I told her I ain't got to come there. We're not going to lose the house because you got this good old job downtown. You make all this good money, paying all the bills. You know, I'm so happy. And grandma's sick. She coughing. You know, she's an older woman. And, you know, she's like, oh, yeah, grandma, I'm so happy, proud of me. So next, her and they were, like, walking around at night. And it wasn't like anyone left to rob. So he like, maybe we should calm down. You know, everybody probably heard about the robbers out here. So it's like, we ain't been robbing nobody. We should take a little break and let things cool off. And then, you know what I'm saying, start robbing again later. And she like, we need this money. You know, we ain't got time to do all that. You know, we got bills to pay. We can't just let this go on or whatever. So they had that whole thing. Next, she going to the bank. She went to the bank because she want to take, because she got another past due bill. So like, I gotta take the money out of my bank account, because she, I guess, opened a bank account and was putting money in her bank account and also paying money with checks and stuff like that. So, because you can't pay stuff with cash all the time. Because again, she's saying that she got this job downtown. So she's going to her bank account and she like woke up like, okay, I want to take out the money I have in my account. And the girl at the teller, she like, Ty, hey girl, it's been so long. So whoops, she know the teller. So I'm like, oh yeah, hey girl, yeah, you know, if you close your, we'll take all the money out your account, it might close. Like, oh, I don't care. So as she's talking to the teller girl, she looking around, because when she came in, it was the old man getting out the little bank truck with the money. I'm like, is she gonna think to rob this bank? So sure enough, she watching him come in. He all slow. People gotta help him, you know, get in the door. I'm like, this is the worst bank ever, because he would have been got robbed in real life, because why is the old man bringing money in the front door by himself? So, she said to the teller girl, you know what time you get off? Because the girl like, yeah, I gotta, you know, figure out something. I don't really like working here, but I make a little bit of money until I can figure out my next move. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna do. So then Ty like, you know, when you get off, we need to talk. And what is Ty's right idea? To rob the bank. So she's telling Deacon about it. And Deacon like, I don't know about that. You know, that's a lot. I don't think we should do it. She like, look, either you out or you in. And he like, fine, I'm in. And, you know, she like, you know, old girl, I'm gonna call her Bank Girl because I don't know what the girl name is. You know, Bank Girl in on it. You know, she gonna let us know, like, the process and what they do. And then he said, you know what? We need to add Rico. Who the fuck is Rico? Where Rico come from? So then, you know, they have a meeting with, it was, you know, it's Ty as Deacon. It was Rico. And when I seen Rico, I'm looking like, don't trust Rico, okay? I ain't trusted the Rico dude, or dude named Rico, since Rico killed Mitch. Since Rico killed Mitch, and damn, what's the name of that movie? Why can't I think of the movie when it was Mekhi Phifer? It was damn it, y'all know the dang movie when Mitch killed Money Making Mitch. Why can't I think of it? It's my favorite damn movie, probably because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Anywho, that's the last Rico I didn't trust, okay? And I don't trust this Rico either. So they talking at a table, and it gives me all kind of feels of Dead Presidents, because that's how they was talking when they was about to rob the bank in Dead Presidents. It was them talking at night. It was somebody smoking with cigars. They was just in the dark with a spotlight. That's what it reminded me of. And Rico just looked like trouble, because Rico looked like he ready to kill somebody versus rob somebody. And you know, you can't have a killer with you when you're trying to rob somebody. Not saying I know killers or robbers, and I've never been a killer or a robber, but I'm assuming you don't want a trigger happy person helping you rob someone, because then you catch a body. That's just stupid. And he looked like he ready to catch a body. I mean, that's just what I think. So they talking or whatever, and the girl, Bank Girl, like, yeah, this is the thing, you know, old dude come in every day. He's supposed to come through the back, but he don't, because the door messed up, and when the door gets open, all the alarms go off, so the cheap ass bank manager won't get it fixed, so he come in right through the front door. So she like, so this is the plan, you know, come in easy breezy, you know, and we gonna just get it, and that's it. We gonna like, so we gonna start shooting. I'm like, shooting? No, she just told you you ain't gotta do all that. It's an old man, he ain't gonna have no gun. No. And so Ty was like, no one has to shoot, no one has to do that. It's gonna be easy. We can wave the guns around, maybe, but that's it. No one has to get hurt. So at the bank the next day, Bank Girl off work, she in the car parked across the street. Then you have Ty who walk in first, and she act like she filling out something. Then you see Rico walk in. Rico looked like he's suspect. My thing is, I don't even go in the banks anymore. I go to the ATM machine or the drafting thing. I don't have to go in the bank unless they got a big amount of money. So I go in the bank maybe like twice a year. Because other than that, I go to the ATM machine. Even for, you know, because you only need to go in the bank if you're taking out like more than, I think, maybe $2,000. So a couple times a year I have to go into the bank to take money out and stuff like that. But I no, if I'm in the bank now and I see a black girl walk in with some shades and I see somebody come in looking like Rico, I'm leaving. Why? You wanna know why? Because they finna rob the place. No ma'am, no sir, no thank you. So, you know, Rico come in, he walk up to the inside ATM, and then Deacon old scary ass walk in, and he walk around. I'm looking like, why he didn't have nowhere to stand? Like, y'all didn't come up with that to tell him where to stand? Like, nothing? He couldn't go and try to fill out some stuff too? No. His monkey ass go walk over to the desk where like the customer service would be, and that's the place you don't want to walk over to. Why? Because they're gonna walk up to you and say, hey, how can I help you? What you here for? They're gonna want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk, Deacon. Your ass is already nervous. So they in there waiting and waiting, and Rico in line for the ATM, and the old lady come in behind him like, Richard, or whatever his real name is, that you? Boy, I ain't seen you in ages. Remember me, Miss so. So now she remember Rico ass from church because she know his mama. And y'all know old people love saying, hey, I know your mama, your auntie, your grandma. And that's what she did. And he like, nah, you got me mixed up. She was like, you was in the choir singing that song, remember? I'm like, you know what? I can already tell some things finna go wrong. Deacon in the back standing around. A white girl get up from behind her teller space, and she called the bank manager. He then go over there and talk to Deacon because he's standing in the area that you stand at when you want help with something because he's dumb. So he like, oh, can I help you? Deacon's so dumb he can't even think to say, well, yeah, tell me about your baking products or just make up something. You don't just, he looks like he was up to something. Then, you know, Ty called him bank girl who's outside, like, where he at? Should we leave? He late. And she's like, no, you know, he old. He probably went to the bathroom. You know, just wait a few minutes. The thing pull up, the bus pull up with the money, and it ain't the old man. No, sir. It is like a young, little, strong, sexy man and another dude. Old man ain't nowhere to be seen. And she like, oh, shit, because it's not him. So she trying to call Ty, but she can't. Why? Because the cop car is not behind her. Because why? She parked illegally. Then you got the old lady still bothering Rico. That part going crazy. You got the bank manager who's still talking to Deacon, and Deacon can't think of what he want. And the bank manager like, look, if you don't want nothing, if you ain't here to do no banking, I think you should leave. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I went alone. But he ain't quick on his feet. He ain't thinking right. So the cop telling the bank girl, you can't park here, ain't no parking. And she's like, oh, I'm waiting on my friend to come out. Can I just wait for her? And he was like, didn't I tell your ass you can't park here? Go ahead on. So she then pull off. Then she texts Ty like, it ain't the old guy. It's some new people. You know, abort, get out. And she like, fuck. So as she do that, and the strong man walk in with the cash, he did come in the front door. Rico crazy ass. As Rico crazy ass see the door open, Ty was like, Rico, no! Rico then put his mask on, put his gun out, and he blasted. He's shooting at the new guy. I'm like, why you just shoot? Did you shoot the old woman? But he didn't shoot the old woman. But he did shoot the security guy. He didn't kill him, but he was shooting. I'm like, but Ty so dumb because you in the bank saying, Rico, no! You don't even have a mask on. You don't have a mask on. Deacon don't have a mask on, so when Deacon hear the gunshots, he like, oh shoot. His hands dropped, he dropped the mask. The bank manager then see that his mask matched the same mask that Rico ass got on. So him and the bank manager not tussling because Deacon couldn't get his gun out fast enough. I'm looking like, this is the worst bank robbery ever. So they tussle for the gun go off and don't hit nobody, it goes up in the air. Rico still shooting at the guy. The cop, he ain't down. He got maybe shot in the leg. He's shooting back at Rico. I'm like, y'all shooting between an old woman who was just trying to say hi to a guy she thought she knew. The bank security guard dude hit Rico, so Rico down. He ain't dead. He shoot again and he killed the security dude. Ty then has to go help Deacon because he's still fussing and fighting with the damn bank manager. I'm like, Lord Jesus. I don't know what bank girl gone. The cop who outside, I don't know how he ain't heard the gunshots and came in yet. It was just crazy. So then Ty get a bag to put the money in, and then she tell Deacon, you go out the front with Rico, go out the back with Rico, follow the plan. I'm gonna go out the front because at least they can't catch all of them. But if they catch me, I need you to take care of Grandma. So he go out the back, she go out the front. And she had a bag on her, but not all the money. So then she walking on like, okay. Now she got a semi-automatic weapon on her hip. So I'm like, don't nobody see her walking out with that weapon? Nobody? So she walking there first, all calm, cool and collected. Then the cop who was outside see her walking. She do a quick about face and she going back the way she came. He like, freeze. And so she stopped and she thinking, like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? She turned and she starts shooting. Brrr, brrr. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, this is a real, like, really? It's like, I mean, I was laughing, but I was entertained. I'm looking like, this shit is crazy. So she then running and running and running. The cop chasing her. She running all through the neighborhood. She running and she gone. She didn't, she didn't ran. She didn't fail at one point. And it was around a whole bunch of people. So then she throws some money up in the air to, cause a melee so he can't see where she go. So, because all the people come grabbing the money. So then she get up and she running. So I'm like, where the fuck does she think she going? So she stopped and took a breath at one point, and then some more cops saw her, and then now they chasing her. So they come from all ways, from everywhere. So she just running. And I'm like, well, where the fuck is she running to? Then next thing I know, she at the alley where the white man who sold her the gun at. And she like shaking. I'm like, hey, help, what are you doing? He high. He's so high, he got a damn needle in his arm, so he is out of it. He's on drugs. So then as this is happening, Slick Rick voice come on. Because Slick Rick in the beginning, he wrote her a letter. Because this is her Uncle Rick. And he was like, yeah, I want to tell you a story. You know what I'm saying? So that was the beginning of it. I didn't say that part because I forgot about it. But, not that towards the end of it, he's saying, yeah, Ty, I hope you can write me back, and return this letter. I hope you enjoyed the story that I gave you, all right, good night, I love you. Because we know, the song Children's Story is him telling a story. So he was also saying stuff like, you can't trust people, you have to make different decisions. Sometimes the choices you make aren't the right choices. You can't trust a drug addict because the gun dude was a drug addict. Now, I don't know what his plan was or how he was a part of it, but he wasn't working because his ass was too high to do anything. So then she like, well, fuck it, So she take the automatic weapon and she's like, okay, I'm just going to walk out and start shooting. So she walks out and you see blood is splattering. Well, fake blood. This blood is splattering. And then she falls down to the ground and she's bullet holes and she's dead. And I'm like, she dead. Okay? She dead. Well, how else do you expect it to end when you out here robbing people? You know what I'm saying? And then you rob the bank. And then you shooting at police officers and running off through the streets. You was gonna die anyway. So, at that moment, there's a blink. And then you see the alley to where she is. It's the same alley she was at in the beginning of the story when her and Deacon saw someone's body being put into the coroner's van. But it's her again. And she's still seeing this person be put in the body bag. And you can still hear her friend then still this again. Hey, we can rob people and make some money. And then it goes to her in the alley buying the guns again from the guy. And they offer her the guns. And she like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know. And Deacon talking to her. And he like, man, we can make some money. We got to do this. She's like, I don't know about this. I can't believe you even got me here. I can't. This is stupid. Man, whatever. And then she leaves. She don't get the guns. So she doesn't die. Because her Uncle Ricky, who wrote her from in prison, told her a story about it. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, not long ago. And it's the whole Children's Story thing that's I'm looking like, okay. I liked it. The ending to me was a trip. Because I was like, you just wasted an hour of my time because it was a goddamn dream. But it was still a good way to tell the story of what could happen if you don't listen to stories that people have told you of things that has happened. Because as we see, her Uncle Ricky had been writing her from prison, telling her stories of things that had happened. And all she had to do was listen. So my thing is, I'm happy she not dead, but at the same time, does that mean her gonna get put out? Like, what's gonna be the ending? So that was the end of it. I thought it was well told. The girl who played Ty is the same girl who was on Empire. I think her name was Bree. Was it Bree? I don't know what her name is. Because when I look on Comcast, the little info button, it don't give the cast members of each episode. It only has the cast of like the first 2 or 3 episodes. Like, it's not episode by episode, which I think is crazy. So, and I didn't think to look it up. But it was entertaining. I liked it. I liked how the story was told. Once upon a time, I like that part. You know what I'm saying? telling me regular back of that. So I'm sorry. But yeah, it was a good episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I am about to do a quick video on the lobsters stuff. But other than that, I will talk to you guys later. I am Jay Lee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Until next time, people. Peace.